Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Altitude Sickness Podcast. I am Tony, and I'm being joined by both Drew and Matthew today. How are we all doing?
Doing not too bad. Happy to be here.
Yeah.
Pain. Nothing but pain.
Yeah, if you did not catch any of the Rockies games this week, good for you. You probably had much better things to do, other than on Wednesday. That was a good one. But other than that, you missed nothing. A pretty rough week this week, especially after the highs of having a fun sweep against the Mets the previous weekend. A pretty rough stretch this week for the Rockies, but that's going to happen. They played two pretty solid teams this week with the Reds and the Braves. Braves are probably the hottest team in baseball, and the Reds are almost right behind them. And so that's just how it goes. And so we'll just get honestly right into it. So against the Reds, so they lost the series. They, like I said, they won one of the games. They won the middle game, but they lost the bookends of it. In terms of the win, at least, it was a good win. Hunter Goodman had 2 home runs that day, so that was a fun one for that. Sagano also pitched pretty well, 5 1/3 with no earned runs against the Reds. But other than that, the other 2 days were not that good. Freeman had a home run early in the third game, but both Freeland and Lorenzen really didn't give the Rockies too much of a chance in these games. And that was pretty much all she wrote. The offense went pretty blank the other 2 games, other than that middle one where they scored 13 runs. That's honestly all it was. It was honestly kind of a just quick, simple, clean series, just loss, win, loss, and nothing else to it. So, got anything on the Reds? It was pretty simple at that.
I think I'm trying to think of who Lorenzen reminds me of. I don't want to say Austin Gomber yet.
I don't think he's that bad.
But it's been, he'll have one good start and then he'll have 2 bad starts. He'll have one good start again and get us back on the hook. And then just 2 rough starts again. So it's kind of giving me a hint of Gomber, which is frightening. But he's still learning how to pitch at home. So
yeah,
even though I think they were on the road for that series.
Here's a fun one. I just looked it up actually on Baseball Savant because sometimes they'll show like players that they're similar to depending, and it pulled up former Rocky. Chad Kuhl. Now, I don't know if you watched him at all, Drew.
No.
But that's a pretty good comp, I think, because Chad Kuhl was very much like that. He pretty much had, like, he would have a good start, and then 2 mid starts, and then 2 blow up starts, and then it would like repeat every time. He actually, I think, fun fact. I think he had the last complete game the Rockies have had, I believe. Like, the most recent complete game the Rockies have had. Because I don't know who else would have done it. So, that's sad, honestly. But oh well. What?
Let's move. Just keep going. Keep going.
Oh.
I saw it, Matthew. Just keep going.
Okay.
I figure.
Wow. What the
I don't know.
Okay, well, someone just
Sorry.
messed up our notes and
I figure like I don't know when the next time a complete game is gonna happen.
no.
Like, it does not seem like it is gonna be anytime soon. I mean, I don't think we've gotten someone past the 7th inning yet
No.
this
I
year.
mean, nobody.
so-
People don't throw, like, I just saw a clip the other day of Tim Lincecum throwing like 130 pitches. Like, they just don't do that anymore.
No.
Also, because that's a whole can of worms of how I think pitching is going. But nobody's throwing 130 pitches anymore.
No. Well, then
I
on
don't think
top of
that's-
that, also the Rocky, like the pitchers, they have issues with nibbling, and they just don't they just don't get quick outs. It seems like they always have like 1 or 2 innings that they throw like 20 plus pitches in it, and it just derails the entire day. But that's how it goes. And then this series is, I want to get this over quick. I don't want to talk about this series too much. This was not a fun one. So they get swept by the Braves. It was just not even fun. It was fun for, honestly, the first 2 innings of the series, and then after that, not fun much else. They had a 6-0 lead. They scored 5 runs in the first inning. And then Moniak had a home run in the second inning of that first game. And then the bullpen proceeded to allow 7 runs in the last 3 innings of the game to lose 8-6. The second game, Chris Sale dominated us as he does usually. 11 strikeouts in 7 innings, only allowing 1 run. And then Dollander had, other than like his first game that he pitched this year against Toronto, this was probably his first really bad game, where he allowed 6 earned runs in 5 1/3. He was off his game, honestly. It just felt the whole time. It was just not working. He still gutted out 5 innings, in all fairness, but still, that Braves lineup is just, they are very, very good. And then, at least for good things to happen in the series, Moniak, like I said, he had a home run in that first game and then 2 on Sunday. So he had 3 home runs in the series. TJ Rumfield also had a home run in that last game of the series off of Spencer Strider. So that was really cool to see. And then another bad stat was just Rockies hitters had 31 strikeouts in the series, and actually they only had 5 strikeouts in that first game. So the next 2 games they had 26 combined in 2 games. So not ideal. And that's usually the line that you could tell if the Rockies win or not. Is do they have more or less than 10 strikeouts? That seems to be a pretty common thing. And if they have more than 10 strikeouts, they're going to probably lose the game, and they did in at least 2 of these games, but they lost all 3. But you see what I mean. They strike out too much. They are empty at-bats. They don't get anything done. And they just do it way too often. Because, I mean, if you're striking out 10 times in a game, you're striking out more than 1/3 of the at-bats in that game. You could just remove from the equation. Because, like, if that's 10 strikeouts, that's the first 3 2/3 innings? 3 1/3 innings? This are just nothing outs, which is kind of insane if you think about it like that.
I'll excuse the Chris Sale ones. They shouldn't have struck out 11 times, but it's Chris Sale. I would rather play, at this point in time, I would rather play the Dodgers than the Braves.
The Braves, at least, right now, yeah, for sure.
Braves are now the best team in baseball via record, I think.
At least at the end of that one, yeah.
Sure.
And they're the hottest team in baseball.
Yeah.
Like they're slaughtering everyone they play. Mm-hmm. And the Rockies were just another team in their way.
We were nothing but fodder.
Yeah, but I think I think this series against the Braves, as we saw tonight, I think it's going to put the Rockies into a bit of a hitting slump. Hopefully that turns around, but I think you just have such a poor series like that where there's nothing going on offensively outside of one person. It's just it sets you up for failure.
Yeah. Yeah, I would agree.
Right, you're totally right.
Pretty like that. I mean, I don't. There's not really. It's no. I'm sorry if this just seems like a really down episode. Like that's just how that week was for the Rockies. It was just a brutal. Like it very much reminded us of just last year, where it just felt like, especially in that Braves series, I don't know. It was just like each time they'd claw back or they'd come back and score, it was just, I mean, they blow that lead in the first game. The second game was never close. And then the third game, it was a back and forth. You know, the Braves would punch, we would punch. They would punch, we would punch back and get the lead. And then we blew it in the end, and it was just really brutal and just kind of sucks. But that's how it goes. So
we have positives, though. Very few.
Yeah.
Some.
Yeah. That's because that's what we are. We are very positive people here, obviously.
I'm trying my absolute best.
Yeah, I'm trying. Yeah. but but yeah, that's kind of all I've got on those series. Honestly, I don't really have much else. Nothing crazy. So next thing we want to get into is some interesting stuff. So there's been a lot of stuff on the Facebooks and the Twitters or whatever about how Mickey Moniak is kind of going crazy this year. He currently, I know the whole thing is that he leads the league in multi-home run games, which is just such an ESPN stat. But he also is, a top, I think he's like at least top 10 in like OPS. He continues to just rake. And it's interesting because people have noted, obviously, that he plays for the Rockies, so that means he plays half his games at Coors Field. And, oh boy, this man is the Coors Field merchant of all Coors Field merchants. Matthew, do you want to get into this, or how do you want to go about this?
I can.
All right.
Yeah, so Moniak on the road, he's got 43 at-bats, 256 average, 333 on-base percentage, and a 775 OPS, with just 2 home runs, two doubles, and 6 RBIs. So, I mean, it could be worse, but not amazing. And then we have his home splits, which are 55 at-bats, 382 average, 407 on-base percentage, 945 slugging at home for 1.352 OPS, with 9 home runs, 4 doubles, and 15 RBIs. Yeah, I would say that he is quite the Coors merchant this year so far.
And those stats are not including his double and triple tonight, correct, Tony?
Yes,
He had a double as well?
He had a double and triple against the Mets. I did not include those. These are stats that are not including.
Bump those numbers up even a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He is quite good at home. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? I don't know.
So I would. Good or bad, whatever. That's just the nature of him taking advantage of where he plays. And I would like to make note. So what was his OPS? A 1.352.
Yep.
Now that is only slightly worse than Barry Bonds' 2001 season, where he had a 1.379 OPS. So I would just like to make note of that. He's currently slugging higher than he did, but Barry Bonds also had a 515 on base percentage.
So basically,
which is just absolutely insane.
Mickey Moniak is Barry Bonds at home.
Yes,
just
and
gets intentionally walked less.
On the road, I do not know. I'd like to find a way to find a career 775 hitter. I don't even know. I don't even know who.
If you're looking at the bell curve, it's gonna be like this.
That's the thing. Is that 775? That's about average. I don't know what the major league average is this year, but I think it's pretty close to that.
Exactly.
So I'm sorry. I'm checking really quick. I want to see. Oh, come on, give me these numbers. Give me the numbers. Where are the numbers? Okay, 715 is the average. So he's actually better than average on the road, too. So all those people being like, oh, Coors Field merchant, yes, agreed. But that doesn't mean that he is just absolutely terrible on the road like some other players that the Rockies have had historically. He's still an above average hitter on the road. It's just he's nowhere near as good as he is at home. Which, no duh.
Yeah.
If you think about it, most players actually do play better at home.
Yeah, they probably do. Yeah, you'd think that.
Makes sense. It totally makes sense. And people on Twitter and everywhere are gonna say the exact same thing. Oh, he plays at Coors, so he should obviously be playing better at home, right?
Mm-hmm.
Counter.
Uno
Goodman.
reverse card. Uno reverse card.
Hunter Goodman. Home splits for him. 53 at-bats, 208 average, 288 on base, 412 slugging for 703 OPS. So less below average OPS at home. With only 2 home runs, 5 doubles, which honestly isn't too bad, especially for... I mean, Goodman's not the fastest, but he's also not the slowest. And 4 RBIs. So a little below average at home. And, but then on the road, 68 at-bats, 265 average, 333 on base, and a 603 slugging for a 936 OPS. With 7 home runs, 2 doubles, and 11 RBIs. Maybe not quite the level of Mickey Moniak, but I would say basically the inverse.
Yeah.
He is crushing away and is not doing anything at Coors.
Yeah.
Maybe it's a little bit of a straw man argument.
Yeah.
But
now just what you do, just don't look at any other players that are on the Rockies stats, and then it's still
exactly.
Yeah.
Just imagine that our entire team are just these 2 players.
And something that we have yet to mention, Mickey Moniak has the longest active hitting streak in the MLB right now.
Well, it got to 17 games today, right?
17 today, yeah.
And in which they have played both away and home games. So, yeah. I mean, Mickey's on a tear right now.
Yeah. Agreed. It's just one of those fun things, those funny things in baseball where, and I think that's, again, like, not to be like, oh, the great sport I love. Like that's, I think, something that I love about baseball as opposed to other sports, is that there is legitimate difference in where you play. Like, home games at Coors Field are affected differently because of the field itself, because of the altitude, because of the weather, everything like that, as opposed to games that are played in, anywhere else, in New York or LA or Minnesota or wherever. Seattle, yeah, especially Seattle, where it's known as a pitcher's park because you can't hit there. For a long time, it's usually been like the batter's eye is a problem, but like it's wet there, it's humid, like it's cold most of the time, or colder, so it's harder to hit there. And so that's just how it goes, is that like offense is going to be worse there. But then the flip side of that is, okay, well then they always have a good pitching staff because their pitching does well there. And what do we know about the Rockies is that they suck at pitching because they have to pitch half their games at Coors Field. And then I'm not trying to get on a tangent where I think it's bullcrap that Rockies hitters are always put down because they play at Coors Field, but then in the same vein, people will not praise Rockies pitchers that do well at Coors Field. The exception, I guess, this year has been Dollander. I know I've seen some people talk about how Dollander has pitched well, and then of course he goes out against the Braves and sucks, but like, whatever. That's going to happen against the Braves. Like, that's I'm not thinking that that's the norm, especially this year. And so that's where I would say I would go with that. And I'm not trying to get on like a soapbox here, but yeah, I think it's just one of those interesting things where home road stuff is so different, and it's more what's the word? Like, more varied for the Rockies and Rockies hitters than it is for most other players because of just the nature of where they play. And so it's just fun, and it's an interesting thing. So, but yeah,
I agree.
Good stuff. So, a really quick note about the bullpen. Yeah, that sums it up. The bullpen recently, of course, after being praised, and then of course I see them in some graphics being, they're a top 10 bullpen. The moment they get any national praise, they instantly have to just tank. And since against the Reds and Braves, so since the last podcast we recorded last week, they have pitched 25 and a third innings, allowing 25 runs, so an 8.88 ERA, with 24 strikeouts and 13 walks. Not good. Very, very bad. And so a lot of that, and that is that's the one. And, like, that's not even including the Padres series the week before where they blew that ninth inning lead as well, where Victor Vodnik blew that lead. Granted, they were much better in that Mets series, though. But again, it just goes to show, like, how dominant they were, and it just feels really weird how it feels like all of a sudden it has just completely been broken. Like, Jimmy Herget has come back from the paternity list and has been terrible. He has not been good. Vodnik has not been solid recently. Juan Mejia had a rough outing a few days ago, where he allowed that 2-run home run. He had a pretty good outing today against the Mets, but we're not talking about that. I guess we'll probably talk about that next week. Like I said, Dollander did not pitch well. Antonio Senzatella allowed 2 runs for the first time this season against the Braves yesterday, or whenever it was. So it's just been overall. And then on top of everything, the opener situation for Chase Dollander. Do you guys know what the opener's ERA is for Chase Dollander?
Terrible.
It's like a 10.8. So I think at this point they need to just move on from the opener and just have him start. Like, I think we're good with we're good, bro. We're good on the opener situation, and just have Dollander start games, because I think that just is going to work better.
Has he started in a game this year yet?
Mm-hmm. He started against the Mets, where he went, I think it was 7 innings? I don't remember where it was.
His first inning of that game, ironically, was a little scary, but he did not give up a run. So,
yeah.
But it did get a little spooky.
Yeah, he's pitched 7 innings, 5 runs, 5 hits, 7 strikeouts. Like, he was very good.
Yeah.
And they just waste availability for a guy.
Well, and then I think that's another thing too. Is my issue with Warren Schaefer's decision is who he's put in those. He's put in Jimmy Herget when he was good, who was one of our late inning guys, and then he put in Brennan Bernardino. Bernardino, our only lefty. That doesn't make any sense. I think at some point you've got to stop looking at the analytics and be like, oh, lefty-lefty matchup. And you just got to be like, all right, well, put whoever in. It doesn't matter. Also, those lefties that he faced, which was Drake Baldwin and Matt Olson, crush lefty pitching. So
that's exactly what they did.
So I don't think you got to stop looking at the spreadsheets, Warren, and just go with who you got to roll with, and let Dollander try and figure it out. That's kind of the point of these seasons. You get him to figure out some stuff now, so he is better when the Rockies are actually contending. Because otherwise, I think we're just wasting time here. So the time for it was good for a bit, and I was fine with the opener. But I think it's over now. I think they're done with the opener. I don't think they need it anymore. So that's where I stand on that.
Yeah, agreed.
But, well, we honestly talked about the Major League team a lot, honestly, longer than I was expecting. Because
let's talk about something fun.
Yeah, let's talk about more fun things. So, obviously, end of the month, or I guess beginning of a new month, the beginning of May. So a lot of awards, like Player of the Month awards and Player of the Week awards were handed out for a lot of minor league players. And these two specifically were not, the first two that we're going to talk about, were not given anything. But I just want to talk about them because I like them. I've been watching a lot more of every minor league team. I have been watching the Fresno Grizzlies so much because, first of all, they play late. So I watch them after the Rockies games usually, and they're good to just throw on it right before I go to bed. And also because I want to watch Ethan Holiday and Roldy Brito play. But really quick, so talking about that, Ethan Holiday. He's come back from an injury. He started the season, it was pretty slow, and he had some injury. I forgot what it was, but he's come back, and he has been red hot. In 69 at-bats this season, he's hitting .261, a .418 on-base percentage with a .493 slug for a .911 OPS. He's got 4 home runs, including a grand slam, an opposite field grand slam, mind you. He has 2 doubles, a triple, 19 RBI, and this is really good, is 23 strikeouts to 17 walks. So he's getting a lot of walks in. So yes, those strikeout numbers, that's about the third of the time, but he's also walking almost a third of those times as well. Like, he's walking just as many times that he's striking out, and that's huge, which is why his on-base percentage is in the 400s right now, and he's been slugging a little bit more too. So, and also he's been playing a great defensive shortstop. He has been pretty good. He had a pretty nice glove flip play, diving to his left and flipping out of his glove to get the out at second a few weeks ago. So that was really cool to see. So he's settling in really well. And then a guy that's been staying hot all year has been Roldy Brito, who I have been high on for a little bit because he came out of the Arizona Complex League, and he was absolutely great there. And so far in 99 at-bats, he's hitting 303, that's been his thing, is that he's an average hitter. But he's hitting 303 with a 365 on base, with a 525 slug, for an 890 OPS. So he's got 3 home runs, he's got 7 doubles, 3 triples as well, 28 RBI, and then 23 strikeouts to 11 walks. So he's got a little bit more of those strikeouts, not quite as many walks, but he also is slugging a decent amount with a lot of doubles and triples as well. So
he also has a grand slam.
And he also does have a grand slam. And on top of that, he has played half his games at center field and half his games at second base. So that's just of note. He's kind of like Cole Carrig, who is someone we'll talk about later, actually. Cole Carrig, who is in AAA for the Isotopes right now. He's kind of like him, where he could play multiple different positions. He just has a little bit. I mean, he's just younger. Roldy Brito, I think, is 19. I'm pretty sure. So he is super young. And again, Ethan Holiday also 19. So like, these guys are very young. But they're doing really well right now for Fresno. It's really awesome to see. And I'm sad because I will not be able to watch them tonight because I do not play on Mondays. So, but overall, those two have just been raking, and it's been awesome to watch. And I've been enjoying it. So, and then now we're getting into the organizational players of the month. So the Rockies do this. I don't know if every team does this, honestly, but I know that the Rockies do, and they always announce Rockies organizational players of the month for their minor league teams. And for the pitching side, it was right-handed pitcher Jake Brooks for AA Hartford. In April, he had a 3.91 ERA, so 23 innings with 10 earned runs, 5 walks to 31 strikeouts. So he's striking out a lot of guys, and then a whip of 1. So I think he honestly got a little unlucky with some of the runs that were scored, because having a 3.91 ERA but a 1 whip is kind of crazy. But he's also only 24 years old, and he's been just absolutely killing it, and it's good to see, especially for Hartford, who right now, I think, unfortunately, they've been having kind of a tough season, but it's awesome to see someone, a pitching prospect too, be as good as that. So that's really cool to see. And then the hitting, or the position player of the month, was infielder I think it's Vimael Machine. So we saw this guy in AAA, actually, or not AAA. I meant spring training. He is in AAA. I meant spring training. He played a little bit because he tried to make the 26-man roster out of camp. And I mean, I think he's just been absolutely raking for the Isotopes. He batted .324, .432, .529 with 8 doubles, 2 home runs, and 15 RBI during May. So he's been absolutely insane. He also had a 10-game hit streak. So it's really good to see. Love that. Love seeing that. So there's a chance that because like right now, as we know, Tovar's having a pretty tough time, and I do not want to necessarily speak this into existence, but there's a world where he could get sent down just to fix things, because if he's still struggling, though he has been improving as games have gone on, he's just not been getting the results. He's been hitting the ball harder and getting better at-bats. He's just, I think he's just not had the results yet. But Machine is an option to possibly come up and fill in for that. So you never know. And then we got some players of the weeks here. Pacific Coast Player of the Week, Cole Carrig. and I mentioned him earlier. He's kind of the super utility guy where he could play kind of everywhere, but he mainly plays shortstop and center, which is really interesting. But for the week. He started all 6 games for the Isotopes this week. He went 14 for 24 for a 583 average with 2 doubles, a triple, and a home run, 8 RBI, and then stealing 4 bases. That's a big thing too. Is he is fast. He steals a lot, and so that's really really good to see. He's currently on a 24-game on-base streak where he's slashing 398, 459, 571 with 5 doubles, 3 triples, 2 home runs, 23 RBIs, and 16 stolen bases. So he's just been on an absolute tear. I fully expect him and Condon to be called up about the same time. When, I don't know, but I do fully expect them to be called up at some point, and I can't wait because I think that he's going to be really, really good and a lot of fun to watch at the major league level. And then for Northwest Pitcher of the Week, it was Everett Catlett for High A Spokane. After this week, he earned the win in his outing on May 1st after only allowing 2 hits over 6 scoreless innings, and he struck out 11 batters. And so far this year, he is 2-2 with a 3.80 ERA with 32 strikeouts in 5 games, with 4 of those being starts. So he has been very, very good, very consistent for Spokane this year. And again, whenever a pitcher does well in the Rockies minor leagues, it's always a good thing because we will always need pitching, even though our hitting is also not that good. So, but that's where we're at with that. And then last up for Player of the Month, Fresno Grizzlies. So this wasn't like a Rockies organizational thing. It was just the Fresno Grizzlies did this. And their Player of the Month was Tanner Thatch, who hit 340, 416, 577 for a 993 OPS. He had 4 home runs, 11 doubles, which is kind of crazy, and then 30 runs batted in. He had 30 RBIs in 1 month. That's almost 1 RBI a game. Like 1 RBI a day, because they have less games than that too. So it's been absolutely insane. And again, like with those 3 in the Fresno lineup, the 3, the triple threat of Roldy Brito, Ethan Holiday, and Tanner Thatch, it's been absolutely insane, and it's been a lot of fun to watch. So I'm very happy to be watching them. So, yep.
I have a minor league guy to talk about here.
Oh, great. All right.
So since the king of this podcast, Stu Fleslin, has been called up to Albuquerque from High A, which is kind of nuts.
Yeah, he jumped Double A for some reason.
He only has 1 game, but he has 3 scoreless innings.
Yeah, he pitched pretty well. Now, I don't know where he is. I don't know if he is still with them. Because, he's just...
To my knowledge, he is.
Because he just kind of pitched that 1 inning and then or that 1 game and then just has not pitched since, which is kind of odd. Because that was a while ago when he did that, so...
Hey, but you know who could use a lefty in the bullpen?
It's true.
Rocks. So, if Stu Fleslin makes it to... His MILB page has him in High A.
Yeah, he went back down to High A. Never mind.
I didn't know that. I was going to say, I will do something insane that we can decide off camera if Stu Fleslin's...
That's so odd. He got called up to Albuquerque on April 25th and then got sent back down to Spokane on May 2nd.
Isotopes must have just been missing a pitcher for a week or something.
Yeah, that has to be what it was, because I'm very, very confused why that is the case. I'm sorry. It is so hot in here. Wearing a hat is just not ideal with these headphones, honestly, but that's how it goes. But yeah, pretty good stuff. Does anyone else have any other notes? This has been a pretty quick one. I kind of flew through those way faster than I thought. But
Ethan Holiday haters can
keep hating. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'll say.
Yeah. We'll stick with that.
Yeah.
Because that's the thing. Like, I know that there's been a lot of talk like that, but you know what? I don't care. We're supposed to be happy about something because this Rockies team every other week doesn't make us happy. So let us be happy. But and then I think last thing we've got, at least planned right now, is the home run draft update. Do you want to get into that, Matthew? Do you want to?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
In third place, we have Drew.
I,
Shoot.
nah, I might take my headphones off.
In second place, we have Matthew with
Wait. Keep going. Sorry.
12 points.
Okay.
Mickey Moniak has 11 of them.
That's crazy. That's insane. Oh, man.
Tolar has not hit a home run since the last time I don't think he's hit a home run in a month.
He's hit one. He hit it at the second game of the season? Second or third game of the season? Maybe the third game.
Ryan Ritter is still in AAA. And Brett Sullivan is not a home run hitter. So
God, that fall off is insane. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Brutal.
And in first place still is Tony / Anthony with Kyle Karros with 1 home run, TJ Rumfield with 4. I think he had 2 in the last week, right?
I think he only had 1. I think he's only
Maybe
had
just one. Either way, TJ Rumfield has 4, and Goodman has 9.
Yep.
For a total of 14.
And how many do you have? You have 12?
I have 12.
Okay. Cool. Well, that's good. Good job.
Yep. I need a Coors Merchant
to keep
Mickey Moniak to continue being a Coors Merchant.
And I guess I need Hunter Goodman to go on the road is what I need.
Either way, I'm happy if someone hits a home run. I don't care who it is.
That's the thing. I kind of forget about that. I don't really think about that throughout the week until like this. That's when I think about, how my guys done. But it's fun. Well, that's good.
But yeah, there's the home run draft so far.
Cool. And I'll be sure to post that on the Twitter or on the Instagram just so we could have an update of that. But and then I guess really quick we could preview the next 2 series that we're going to have this week. So we're playing against the Mets, like I think we've mentioned a few times already. They played their first game right before this podcast. It got moved up because I think the weather was supposed to be really bad tonight in Denver. And they ended up losing. Sagano had a no-hitter going into the 6th inning and then allowed 4 runs. Just pretty unfortunate. And the offense kind of didn't do anything outside of the 2 runs they scored in the 1 inning. But so pretty unfortunate. It really, to me, it just looked like it almost looked like a road game with how bad the offense was. But they did out-hit the Mets, so we did that again. I think I might go through this year at the end and find out how many games we lost but had more hits than the other team. Because I feel like it is so much. I feel like there have been so many of those games. But yep, so we have 3 against the Mets, and then we'll be done with that season series. And so tomorrow, I don't know who's starting tomorrow for the
Michael Lorenzen.
Well, that's fun. Oh, it's Michael Lorenzen versus Freddie Peralta. That's it.
Oh, yay.
So, which again,
I will say,
last time that was the matchup, and the Rockies won. So,
yeah. For this game, the broadcast talked about it a little bit, but if I want to make excuses for the Rockies offense today, the game getting unexpectedly bumped up. They talked on the broadcast like it's like the 5th inning, and the Rockies were like, or Drew Goodman was like, they would be usually taking batting practice at this time.
Yeah.
Oh, if I'm gonna be a loser and make excuses, that's it.
Yeah.
And it mattered for the Mets too, because the Mets couldn't hit the ball besides when Sagano threw like 6 meatballs in a row.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah.
which I think if the Rockies were given those same meatballs, I think it would have resulted the same way. So, hopefully, this isn't the start of a massive slump, because this team cannot afford a slump.
Well, I mean, unfortunately, they're kind of already in that slump. They have now, with that loss today, they have now lost 5 of their last 6. After winning their previous 4 of 5. So they seem to be just going on these a little bit of winning like a decent amount of games in a row, but then going on pretty bad losing streaks. Because, like, I'm looking at it right now, they lost the first 3, then won 2 of 3, then lost 2, won 4 in a row, and then lost 6 in a row, then won 3 of 4, lost 3 of 4, won 4 of 5, and then now have lost 5 in a row. So they seem to be just really baseballing right now. And I think we've talked about this before, how the Rockies, and it feels like, I mean, I'm sure this happens with like every team, but it really does feel like when the pitching's good, the hitting is just gone. And then when the hitting is great, the pitching cannot hold a lead. I mean, we saw that with Atlanta. Like, yes, 6 runs is not necessarily enough to get you a win at Coors Field, but you should win most of those games. But the bullpen just blowing it absolutely, like, in spectacular fashion in those last 3 innings is just brutal. And then yesterday, at least with the Braves series, Kyle Freeland could, every time the Rockies would get a lead, he would blow it instantly in the next inning. Because he could not stop walking people near the end of his line. And so that's just how it goes, and it feels like that happens so often. But, oh well, it is what it is, and they will move on. And then the next series is against Philadelphia. They have a 3-game series. They have an off day on Thursday, and then a 3-game series in Philadelphia, where the Phillies now, without Rob Thompson, their manager, who they fired, they are now playing a little bit better, so of course we have to run into them now. They were playing bad when we played them, by the way, and they beat us, so that's cool. That series will be interesting. I don't really know. I say we just walk Kyle Schwarber every time he goes up to bat, because at least he's not going to be hitting home runs against us, because that's just all he does. I don't know who would be in line to pitch that series. I think Sagano would be in line, because it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, he'd be in line to pitch that at least that last game, if not that middle game. Oh, it would be that middle game, because it would be, we have that day off, I think. So maybe that middle game or last game. So, but we'll have to see.
Yeah.
We don't usually play well in Philadelphia, I don't think. So that's not fun.
No, we do not.
Yeah. So, but who knows? Like, and I apologize for the really what this just feels like such a down bad podcast today. But like,
I mean, this is
just
the
been
worst.
This is probably the worst. Like, yeah, this has probably been the worst that it's been so far this year. It's just. And that's the thing with a rebuilding team, is that's how it's going to go. There are going to be weeks like this where you lose 5 of 6 and you get beat. Like, that's just how it's going to go. But and that's kind of it. Like, I don't really have much else to say with that. Like, that's kind of how it goes. So, but does anyone else have any other things to talk about, or any other topics?
Oh, I'm good.
No,
Yeah.
but you know what? I'll give us some joy, and this is what we were doing last week.
They just got swept by the fucking Rockies!
So we can just think of that.
Yeah.
Sorry, Matthew, I forgot you weren't here last week. We can just think about that and how fun that was. And that even when the Rockies 2 years ago were completely booty cheeks, they still went on like a 7 or 8 game win streak. I remember that.
They had a 7-game win streak, I remember. Yep.
So
There's always highlights in the air.
baseball is full of losing series and winning series, and the goal is just try to have more series won than you lost. So it's up and down game, and the Rockies will balance out.
Mm-hmm.
The goal is just to have fun during those winning series. They're not going to be more, but they're going to be fun. We got to make them fun.
Yeah. And yeah,
It's the only way that makes it somewhat worth it.
mm-hmm. I agree. And then
right.
that's kind of it. Yeah. So, well, as always, thank you all, everybody, for watching. And as always, go Rockies, and we'll see you all in the next one. All right. Bye.